Democrats. January 8th, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Live. Happy Wednesday. I'm having a little technical difficulty on my side. So we announced, I talked yesterday that I would be taking questions and answers today. We've kind of had a full week. We had the governor's State of the State on Monday and the president's State of the Union on yesterday. And I thought folks might want to talk about that somewhat today. And so I wanted to give people an opportunity to talk about that. And like I said, I'm having difficulty on my side. So I'll just keep talking and hope that I'm running on general Facebook. So last night's State of the Union, of course, my opinion was that it was brilliant. It was incredibly awesome. The president was on top of things, and it was a perfect opportunity for him to brag about the things that his administration has done. The CHIPS Act, the Infrastructure Act, Build Back Better, making sure that there's money for roads, bridges, and clean water. All of those things that the president has addressed, has done for us as a nation. And I live in a state where my entire congressional delegation voted against, but keep showing up at all of the photo ops and taking pictures and bragging about it, including the governor. On Monday, the governor mentioned the grant. He bragged about the grant. But that grant was a result of President Biden. And so I don't know if I'm not going to be able to see questions because of my technical difficulties. So Scott, if I'm getting any questions, if you could post them, that'd be great. My favorite line from last night is that our democracy remains unbowed and unbroken. I've talked a lot over the last 2 years about how we need to protect our democracy. And I say over the 2 years, but it's been forever. But over the 2 years, it seemed like it's been in jeopardy because of the last president, because of the storming of the Capitol and all of those events. And I love the confidence that the president exuded. Now, there were hecklers. I feel like things are going downhill where people don't know how to behave and don't know how to act. There were hecklers at the State of the Union, but the president rolled with it and pulled out of that situation, which I thought was wonderful, pulled out of that situation an opportunity to get commitment on the side that the Republicans will not attack or end or try to end Social Security. Let's see. Oh, those are a whole lot of words there, Ron White. Okay, so I agree that the president doesn't want to end Social Security. He put folks on the record, and here's the thing: they're already on the record. It's been in writing. You've heard it. I've heard it. Where folks have said that they plan to sunset Social Security, that they plan to hold the debt ceiling hostage so that they could get cuts from Social Security. I agree with the president, and I bet if you're watching me, you do too. Those of us who have been working have been paying into Social Security since we were 15, 16 years old. That's our money, and it should be there for us at the end. It should not be there to be rated for, be rated by billionaires and for special interest groups. I agree, Mona. The bad manners, I'm not real sure what's happened. I think back to the days when President Bush was out of the country and someone threw a shoe at him, how appalled and disgusted I was, and I think most of the nation. I remember when, I can't remember the guy's name, who yelled at President Obama, and the whole nation was just in shock that that happened. And then last night, they were heckling like they were at a high school baseball game. There has to be decorum. People have to disagree in a respectful manner, but that tells us what we're in for. As they start having their hearings and their meetings, they're not going to, I fear that it's going to be kind of open session with bad behavior, because I think they showed us. Awesome. And I think it was great the way that the president came out and acknowledged everybody. He was gracious in his acknowledgement of Kevin McCarthy as the speaker, because he is a speaker. It took him 15 tries, but he is the speaker. He acknowledged Nancy Pelosi as inarguably the greatest speaker there ever was, which I thought was awesome. He acknowledged Hakeem Jeffries as the first African-American speaker of either party that our country has had. There were a lot of firsts. There were a lot of great things that happened last night, and I don't know. It's just wonderful watching an adult at the podium. It was Joe Wilson who hollered, "You lie." Thank you, Ron White. It was Joe Wilson who hollered, "You lie." But here's the thing that happened. What are we thinking? 16 years ago, and we still remember it because it was that shocking. And last night, all of the heckling and the booing and the, again, childish behavior acted like that was what our new normal is. And I hope that it's not. I hope we revert back to decorum. We revert back to adults in the chamber. You don't agree with the president? Don't stand up. You don't have to yell and heckle. And I don't know. It's just, are the people who elected them proud of that behavior? I hope not. I hope not, and I hope they'll reconsider when they're up again. So there was a lot. I think the two speeches, there was a huge contrast between the speech we heard in Oklahoma for the state of the state that were just words that weren't tethered to reality, and the State of the Union address that we heard last night, that we can point back to exact incidences and examples of benefits for Americans. It was in touch with reality. I felt like the president was talking to me, whereas I felt like the governor was talking to a very specific few donors, a very specific group of people who he's going to want something from later, or people who've asked for special favors. He was giving a wink and a nod. I was a little bit frustrated last weekend when I realized that they were going to be happening back to back. But I assured last night that was a good idea, because Oklahomans got to see the real contrast. I think, what was once shocking is now, and that is true. I hope, Paul, that you're wrong. I'm hoping that last night was a one-off, and that Kevin McCarthy will get a hold of his conference and get them in line and remind them that they are members of Congress and will behave like adults, and we won't see that again. That is my hope. I hope he gets a hold of his conference. They need our confidence in order to be able to continue to do the things that they do, and I hope that they recognize that and behave accordingly. Okay, Eric, that is an awesome question, and that leads to something else. Okay, you're going to have to help me out. There are 77 counties. Caddo County, is that in the western part of the state? Can somebody, is that a yes? If it's in the western part of the state, what I'm going to ask you to do is call the office. Call the Oklahoma Democratic Party office, which is 405-427-3366. We can get with you, help you get you. Oh, Anadarko. So that is in the western part of the state. Awesome. We could get with you and get you started, because it is time to start getting precincts and counties and districts rebuilt this year. And so for you all over the state, if you're not in Caddo County, you're in a county that is organized, go out to okdemocrats.org, click on Our Party, then find your local party. Folks are now announcing when the precinct elections are and when the county elections are. And I think you're right that Caddo County is not organized. but we have a wonderful person on staff who's one of his main responsibilities is helping restart counties that have been unorganized for a while, helping you get yourselves back started, helping you get ready to do precinct and county elections so that you'll be ready to participate in district and state elections. Thank you for that question. And I hope if you're watching and you live in a county where you don't know who your county chair is, you've heard that and we can get you started. The office number, please be nice to my staff. There are very few of them. The number is 405-427-3366. They're there from 8:30 to 5:30. There are really only 3 of them. So if they don't answer, it's because they're on the phone with somebody else, but you will get a call back. And we'll get you set up and ready to get your county back restarted. Get you ready for precinct and county elections so that you can participate in the state convention, which is in Tulsa this year on June 3rd and 4th. So that's the thing. That's where we are right now. We are in a rebuilding year. This is the year. All the stuff that happened last year were lessons for us to learn. The elections taught us some valuable lessons, a lot of valuable lessons. And we'll be talking about those more and more as the weeks come. But this is the year that we rebuild it. This is the year that we take those lessons and we make corrections. We correct course. We improve, or we keep doing the things that work right. And we get more people involved. And this is your opportunity to get involved. Precinct elections are on March 16th, all over the state, whatever county you're in, March 16th. Now, you're in a smaller county, you may not have precinct elections. They may be done at county conventions, which are going to be held on April 8th. All over the state, county conventions, April the 8th. Okay, so okdemocrats.org, click on our party, and then click on Find My Local Party. And that's how you find your county leadership and find out when they're posting, where your convention is going to be, how you sign up, how you get involved, how you take leadership in one of our federations. That's the next step. That's the next step. So that your story will be told at convention. Your story will be told as we move on in this party. Thank you so very much for joining me. Hopefully, we'll work out whatever technological kinks we've been having. I'll see you tomorrow at 4:15.